Ksubas Daf Chav. Gemara brings a brisa that discusses a case where witnesses other than the deceased signers testify that the signers were either coerced to sign, minors, or disqualified. They are believed unless the document can be authenticated without them. Question: why aren't they Eidei Hakchasha, able to cancel the testimony of the signers even if the document can be authenticated without them? Answer: witnesses can be contradicted either by Hakchasha or by Hazama. They disagree whether a certain event took place, or the second pair testifies the first pair did not witness the event. Hakchasha, they cancel each other, whereas Hazama, the second pair, is believed to punish the first for what they conspired. Rav Sheshes holds Hakchasha is analogous with Hazama. Its laws apply to Hakchasha. Therefore, witnesses must testify in the presence of those that they are incriminating. In this case, that requirement cannot be fulfilled because they are deceased. Consequently, the document is valid. Rav Nachman disagrees with Rav Sheshes that Hakchasha is analogous to Hazama. The witnesses being incriminated do not have to be present, only the holder of the document. Question: does Rav Sheshes' opinion make sense to value the deceased signatures more in their absence than in their presence? Perhaps being contradicted, they would have admitted to perjury. The answer: Rav Nachman explains that pitting the two sets of witnesses against each other maintains the status quo of the disputed money, but does not validate the document. The borrower retains his money and the seller his land until new testimony is presented, as demonstrated by the Gemara's case, where one pair of witnesses testified that Bar Shatya was normal when he sold his inherited property, and one pair testified that he was deranged. Rav Ashi holds it as Bar Shatya's because Ein Safek B'Tzmidei Vadai. It was his before the questionable transaction. However, if originally he purchased the property, the court assumes his state of mind at the time of the purchase was the state of mind at the time of the sale. Had the original seller attempted to void the sale, the court would have rewarded it to him. The court cannot assume that Bar Shatya's state of mind at the time of the purchase was normal based on the witnesses' signatures because their concern is the seller, not the buyer. Weiss has stated that one way to independently authenticate a document is to use a challenged but subsequently certified document. Rav Asi holds otherwise it is suspect of being a forgery. The reason: the certifying court has no reason to investigate its authenticity before its certification, or a challenged document simply means certified. Generally, only challenged documents were certified. Another way to certify a document is either from two similarly assigned ksubas or two bills of sale for two fields the buyers harvested for 3 years without protest. These documents must be in the possession of a third party, not in the possession of the one whose document is questionable, otherwise he could study and forge the signatures onto his document. Weiss states a witness may write down his testimony for future reference. Although the Torah states, from which Chazal derived a witness may not read testimony, however, he is permitted to reference it to jar his memory. Rav Huna explains he must remember his testimony before examining the text, referencing it only to fill in the details, whereas Rabbi Yochanan holds he may reference it even if he does not remember what he witnessed, so long as referencing it jars his subconscious. Question: why is a witness's note not a document? A witness can testify concerning a loan just by reading the loan document. Answer: in order for it to be a legal document, it must be a formal document, signed on the day of the loan by two witnesses. The borrower must consent to it being written. Question: can the litigant remind him of its contents? The answer: no. Chaviva holds is permissible. The witness's testimony will not be influenced by the litigant. Marba Rav Ashi disagrees. The court suspects the testimony could be tainted. This is the halacha unless the witness is a young Torah scholar, even if he initially did not remember anything. The Gemara discusses another topic related to memory. Mounds used for burial. Rabbi Meir holds mounds up to 50 amos from a town that is close to a cemetery used for burial of miscarriages and lost limbs from skin afflictions, or a mound located on a path leading to a cemetery, whether recent or old, are tameh. It is assumed that they are graves. However, those further than 50 amos are tameh only if at least 60 years old. If they're for less time, then only if someone knows that it was used for a grave, then it is tameh. Rabbi Yehuda holds Karov means only the closest one to the town is tameh, and Yeshana means it's been there longer than anyone can remember. This was to avoid declaring Eretz Yisrael tameh making it easier for Kohanim and those who lived al Taras HaKodesh. Question: can it be inferred from Rabbi Meir that testimony is remembered only for 60 years? The answer is no. Mounds are different because it is not incumbent on anybody specifically to remember. However, a person designated as a witness must remember. Therefore, his testimony is accepted by the court whenever presented.